Good evening friends, I welcome you all to the daily newspaper analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 5th February 2024. Here are the list of articles which we are going to discuss today. Let us get into discussion. Look at this news article. It talks about an unique feature of a rotating black hole. Here, scientists talk about ergosphere of a rotating black hole, which is also called as Kerr black hole. Okay, this may look very confusing, right? Let us decode about black hole in this analysis. Firstly, let us understand what is a black hole and how it is formed. See, black hole is actually a cosmic body with very intense gravity. It is formed from a massive star after its death. Know that this happens when the massive star exhausts its internal fuel, that is thermonuclear fuel, and become unstable in nature. And finally, it may lead to a gravitational collapse. On continuing our discussion, the first direct image of a black hole was captured using Event Horizon Telescope in 2017 and the images were published in 2019. See, this was a supermassive black hole and it was the center of Messier 87 galaxy. Now, let us explore the different regions of black hole. See, there are three important regions. The first one is singularity, which is at the center of a black hole. See, it is also called as gravitational singularity. Here, we need to note that the general theory of relativity and the predictions does not work at this point. Okay. Now, then comes the region called event horizon, which is a spherical region around the singular point. See, this region has very intense gravity. Things which enter this region cannot escape unless it is travels faster than the light. After this, there is a bigger spherical region called ergosphere. See, an important point to be noted is that unlike event horizon, when an object enters the ergospheric region, it can leave off even with a speed less than the speed of the light. See, the name of ergosphere comes from a Greek word called ergon, which means work. It is named so because it is possible to extract matter and energy from ergosphere, which is not possible beyond the event horizon. Okay. Now, scientists suggest that using this possibility, we can set an object to the ergosphere and allow them to accelerate using this energy. This energy gain will help us to reduce the angular momentum of the black hole. This may probably help us in changing the black hole direction in the future. See, this is all about the discussion. With this understanding, let us conclude this discussion and take up the next news article for our analysis. This FAQ article of Hindu talks about an important topic of why fiscal consolidation is crucial for the economy. It states that fiscal consolidation is necessary for maintaining economic stability and sustainability. The article states that it helps in controlling the fiscal deficit and ensures that the governmental finances are managed responsibly. Know that managing fiscal deficit contributes to economic growth, price stability, and increasing investor confidence. At last, this article states that fiscal deficit estimate in the recent union budget was considered very ambitious as it aims at reducing the deficit to a significant extent. See, this is the crux of the FAQ article which is given in the Hindu. In this context, let us know about fiscal deficit and other important points mentioned in the article. Firstly, what is fiscal deficit? See, fiscal deficit happens when a government spends more money than it earns. It will lead to a financial gap. See, if governmental expenses surpass its revenue, it must either borrow or sell its asset to cover the deficit. We know that taxes are significant income sources for a government. The budget 2024 estimates that the tax revenue are 26.02 lakh crores, which is being expected in 2024-25. But on the other side, the union budget notes that the government plans to spend 47 lakh crores in 2024-25. So, to put it in a simple mathematics, here the expenditure exceeds the revenue, thus creating a fiscal deficit. Now, let us be aware of the difference between fiscal deficit and national debt. See, fiscal deficit is the gap between government's total expenditure and its total revenue, excluding the money which is getting from borrowing in a financial year. On the other hand, national debt is the total amount of money that a government owes to the external creditors and domestic lenders. See, it includes the accumulated borrowings which has happened over the period of years. Okay. Now, we shall know how government funds for fiscal deficit. See, to cover the deficits, governments mainly borrow from the bond market by issuing the bonds. In 2024-25, the central government aims to borrow 14.13 lakh crores, expecting the higher GST collections to offset the expenses. See, central banks like Reserve Bank of India indirectly participate by purchasing the government bonds in the market. See, governments may face higher borrowing costs if fiscal conditions worsen, affecting the bond demand and interest rates in the market. Okay. Now moving on to let us see the significance of managing the fiscal deficit. See, persistent high fiscal deficit can lead to inflation as the government may print more money to cover the expenses. This may be in the case of Zimbabwe, whereas a lower fiscal deficit reflects the fiscal discipline, potentially improving the ratings of government bonds. See, higher fiscal deficit can strain the overall public debt management, influencing the government's creditworthiness. Note that lower deficit may also make it easier for the government to sell the bonds internationally and access the cheap credit across the world. Now, let us finally see the future plans of Indian government regarding the managing of its fiscal deficit. See, the center aims to reduce the fiscal deficit to 5.1% of GDP, relying on the 11.5% increases in the tax collections. See, it is also having plans to cut the expenditures on fertilizer and food subsidies. Moreover, the government also plans to raise the taxes to meet the FD targets. See, this is all regarding the discussion. In this discussion of FAQ article, we saw about the fiscal deficit and what are the significance of fiscal deficit, and lastly we saw what are the government plans to combat fiscal deficit. So, with this learned points, let us conclude this discussion and take up the next news article for our analysis. Look at this news article. A multinational company in Hong Kong has lost $26 million due to scammers. See, the scammers used deepfake technology to create a fake group video call. In the fake call, they impersonated the company's CFO and other individuals using public footages. See, this is the crux of the article. In this discussion, let us understand about deepfakes, and then we shall also talk about the challenges associated with the deepfakes. Okay, let's get into discussion. Now, let us start with the deepfakes. See, what is deepfakes? Deepfakes refers to the fake contents which are often in the form of image, audio or video. See, the deepfakes are generated using a special kind of technology called deep learning. See, this is why it got the name as deepfake. Now, we shall have to know what is deep learning. See, deep learning is one of the methods in artificial intelligence. It teaches the computers to process the data in a way like the human brain does. Now, let us see how deepfakes are being created. See, with the help of deep learning, the computer can learn and recognize the voices or pictures of the targeted persons. After that, it will replace one person with another in the video or audio. The replaced version is called deepfakes. So, deepfakes can be able to perform face swap, voice swap and a content swap while speaking. So, to put it simply, deepfake is a type of technology that is employed to produce fake content which pretty much look like a real content. Okay, now with these basics, let us see the challenges associated with the deepfakes. Firstly, deepfake videos can be used to spread misinformation or fake news. As I said earlier, it is very difficult to distinguish between deepfakes and real content. So, with the help of AI, a person can create deepfake videos with fake or hatred messages. This may result in the spread of misinformation in the society. Secondly, deepfakes can be used to defame an individual by depicting them in an embarrassing situation. The report says that nearly 90% of the deepfakes are targeted against the women. See, deepfake-induced pornography is one such example. Thirdly, deepfakes can be used by non-state actors like terrorists or insurgents to propagate their radical ideologies. This can cause anti-national sentiments among the people. Sometimes it can even lead to security threats. Fourthly, deepfakes can be used as a weapon to influence the voters. See, during election times, a deepfake video or audio can be used to create misconception against a particular political party. This can even influence voters during the election. And finally, deepfakes can be used as a blackmailing tool. See, by targeting a reputed family with the help of deepfakes, anti-social elements can blackmail them for monetary gains. See, these are all some of the challenges associated with the deepfake technology. This is all regarding the discussion. In this discussion, firstly we saw what is meant by deepfake technology, and in the second part we saw the challenges associated with the deepfakes. With these learned points, let us conclude this and take up the next news article for our analysis. Look at this news article. Recently, Prime Minister and Chief Justice of India attended the Commonwealth Attorney and Solicitor General of India conference. In this conference, the Chief Justice urged the law officers to maintain the honor of legal profession. Moreover, he stressed the importance of upholding the integrity of legal proceedings. See, this is the crux of the article. In this slide, let us learn some important facts about three important legal offices in India. They are Attorney General of India, Advocate General of a State and Solicitor General. Let us start the discussion. Firstly, we shall see about Attorney General of India. See, Article 76 of the Indian Constitution provides for the office of Attorney General in India. he is the highest law officer in the country who is appointed by the president. Coming to the qualifications, he must be a person who is qualified to be appointed as the judge of Supreme Court. Note that his terms of office is not fixed by the constitution, and also there is no mention about the procedure and grounds for his removal. See, the Attorney General holds the office during the pleasure of the President. He may also quit by his office by submitting a resignation to the President. Conveniently, he resigns when the government or the Council of Ministers resigns or replaced. This is because he is appointed on their advice. Know that the remuneration of the Attorney General is not fixed and he receives such remuneration as the President may determine. See, the Attorney General has the right of audience in all the courts in the territory of India. Moreover, under Article 88, he has the right to speak and take part in the proceedings of the following. They are, he has the right to take part in the proceedings of both the houses of Parliament or joint sitting of the Parliament, or he can also sit in any committee of the Parliament which he may be named as a member. An important point that he may sit but he cannot have the right to vote in the proceedings. Okay. See, in addition to the AG, there are other law officers of the Government of India. They are Solicitor General of India and Additional Solicitor General of India. They assist the AG in the fulfillment of his official responsibilities. Remember, Article 76 does not mention Solicitor General and Additional Solicitor General. Okay. Next comes the Advocate General of the state. See, Article 165 of our Constitution provides for the office of Advocate General for the states. He is the highest law officer in the state which is appointed by the governor. Thus, he corresponds to the Attorney General of India at the national level. Know that he must be a person who is qualified to be appointed as the judge of a high court. Similar to AG, his terms of office is not fixed by the Constitution and he or she holds the office during the pleasure of the governor. And moreover, he receives a remuneration as the governor may determine, as it is not also fixed by the Constitution. This is all regarding the discussion. In this discussion, we saw about the two important law officers from our prelims perspective. With these learned points, let us conclude this discussion and take up the next news article for our analysis. This news article talks about Enforcement Directorate which has filed a complaint against Parabolic Drugs Limited and two other individuals in a money laundering case. See, they are alleged to have caused 1,627 crores worth of wrongful losses to the Central Bank of India and other financial institutions. During the investigation, the ED conducted searches at 29 premises under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act and it has recovered assets worth 114 crore rupees along with other devices. See, this is the crux of the article. In this discussion, let us understand about Enforcement Directorate from the exam perspective. Firstly, let us see about the background of this organization. See, Enforcement Directorate originated in 1956 as Enforcement Unit under the Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. See, it was handling exchange control laws violations under Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1947. It had its headquarters in Delhi and was headed by Legal Service Officer. Okay. In 1957, this unit was renamed as Enforcement Directorate and another branch was opened at Madras. From 1960 to till now, ED works under Department of Revenue of Finance Ministry. Okay. Now, let us understand from where ED derives its powers. Since ED is a non-constitutional statutory organization, it gets power from various acts like Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Foreign Exchange Management Act, Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, etc. Now, let us understand important functions of ED. See, ED mainly investigates the matters which are related to money laundering and foreign exchange laws. Under PMLA, it has the power to investigate and trace the assets which are derived from various proceeds of the crime. Moreover, provisionally attaches the property and ensures prosecution of offenders and the confiscation of the property by the special court. Moreover, under FEMA, it conducts investigation into violation of foreign exchange laws and regulations. Moreover, under Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, it attaches the properties of fugitive economic offenders who have exiled India. And moreover, it provides for the confiscation of their property to the central government. And under the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, it adjudicates the show cause notice to the accused. Moreover, under Conservation of Foreign Exchanges and Prevention of Smuggling Activities, COFPOSA Act 1974, ED is empowered to sponsor cases of preventive detention with regard to the violation of FEMA. Moreover, ED also has the power to impose violation in all the above matters. With the cooperation of foreign countries, ED also works to find black money circulation, round tripping, etc. See, this is all regarding this discussion. In this discussion, in the first part, we saw about the genesis of ED and the various laws which are governed by ED. And in the second part, we saw all the functions of ED. With this learned points, let us conclude this and take up the next news article for our analysis. Look at this news article. This news article talks about the conservation efforts taken by the Gujarat State Forest Department to safeguard the Asiatic lions. See, this is the crux of the article. In this context, let us quickly go through the Asiatic lion in preliminary perspective. Let us start the discussion. See, the Asiatic lion, also known as Persian lion or Indian lion, is a member of Panthera leo subspecies that is restricted to India. Know that they are slightly smaller than the African lion. An interesting characteristic is that unlike African lions, the Indian male lions do not tend to live with the females of their pride. See, female lions are the pride's primary hunters. They often work together to prey upon large mammals. See, they are very magnificent species. And the most important striking morphological character which is always seen in the Asiatic lion but rarely seen in the African lion is a longitudinal fold of the skin which is running along its belly. See, the fur ranges in color from ruddy tawny, heavily specked with black, to sandy or buff grey, sometimes with a silvery sheen in certain lights. See, their average lifespan is 16 to 18 years. Okay, this is all about the basics of lion. Now, let us talk about their habitats and their distribution. See, Asiatic lion once prowled from the Middle East to India. Now, sadly, only a fraction of these magnificent animals survive in the world. Know that there are only several hundred Asiatic lions in the wild, and moreover, they only live in the Gir forest in India. To understand it better, it is in an area that is much smaller than the Greater London. Moreover, they occupy the remnant forest habitats in the two hill systems of Gir and Girnar that comprise the Gujarat's largest tracts of dry deciduous forest, thorny forest and savanna. Now, let us see the population numbers. See, WWF or Worldwide Fund for Nature estimates its population at 523 in 2015. In the recent census, the number increased to 674. But owing to the threatened decline in population, India have listed it in the Schedule 1 of WPA Act 1972. Moreover, IUCN marks it as endangered, while the site has kept it in Appendix 1. Now, let us talk about the threats faced by this animal. See, the biggest threat Asiatic lions are facing is the habitat fragmentation, poaching, and human activities like electrified fences. Apart from this, there are almost 20,000 wells which are adjacent to the Gir National Park. Many of the lions have fallen into the nearby exposed well shafts where they drowned and lost their lives. See, this also poses a significant risk to their population. Moreover, the threat of genetic inbreeding also arises from the single population in one place. See, these are all some of the threats faced by the Asiatic lions. With this, we have concluded this discussion. In this discussion, firstly we saw about the various characteristics of Asiatic lions. In the second part, we saw about the distribution and threats of the Asiatic lion from our prelims perspective. This is all regarding the discussion. With this, let us move on to the next part of a video, that is to discuss the preliminary practice questions. Today, I am having 5 questions. I will solve 4 of them and one will be a quiz question for you to solve. Okay, let's move on to questions. See the first question. Consider the following statements about rotating black hole or Kerr black hole. See the first statement. First direct image of a black hole was captured using Event Horizon Telescope in 2019. See, the first statement is incorrect because the first direct image of a black hole was captured using Event Horizon Telescope in the year 2017. But know that it got published only in 2019. See the second statement. Things which enter Ergosphere region of black holes can't escape unless it travels faster than light. See, as we saw in our discussion that unlike Event Horizon, when an object enters Ergosphere region, it can leave even with a speed less than the speed of the light. So this statement is definitely incorrect. See the third statement. We can send an object into the Ergosphere region and allow them to accelerate using their energy. See, this is correct as we have seen in our discussion. So third statement alone is correct. So the correct option is option A. See the second question. Article 76 of the Constitution provides for the office of Attorney General as well as Solicitor General of India. See, we know that this is incorrect because 76 of the Indian Constitution provides only for the office of Attorney General. It does not mention about either Solicitor General or Additional Solicitor General. So statement 1 is incorrect. See the second statement. Attorney General is not debarred from private legal practices. See, the statement is correct because AG is not a full-time counsel for the government. He does not fall in the category of government servant. So, he is definitely not debarred and free to practice his legal practices. So, the statement 2 is alone correct. So, the correct option is option B. See the third question. Consider the following statements about Enforcement Directorate. See the first statement. It works under Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. See, first statement is incorrect because it is currently under Department of Revenue under Ministry of Finance. See the second statement. It's a constitutional body. See, this is wrong because ED is a non-constitutional but statutory body. See the third statement. It cannot arrest a person without summon. See, this is definitely incorrect because ED is having power to arrest the person without any summons, provided if there are sufficient grounds for arrest. So, all the three statements are incorrect. So, the correct option is option D. See the final question of the day. With reference to Asiatic lions, consider the following statements. Statement 1. Asiatic lion is primarily found in Gir National Park and Gir Wildlife Sanctuary in India. See, this is correct because we know that Asiatic lion is primarily found in Gir Forest National Park in India. See the second statement. It's a subspecies of African lion or Panthera leo. See, this is wrong because Asiatic lion is not a subspecies of African lion, but it is a distinct creature. So, the second statement is incorrect. See the third statement. Asiatic lion are known for their distinctive black manes which are prominent in males. See, this is incorrect because Asiatic lions are known for their lack of prominent mane, especially in males. So, here the statement 1 is alone correct. So, the correct option is option A. See, the quiz question based on today's display is listed here. Interested aspirants can answer it in the comment section. Moreover, I will also post it in the community section. You can go and answer it. The mains question based on today's discussion is also posted here. Interested aspirants can write and post it in the comment section. If you like today's video, like, comment and share it with your friends. For more updates regarding UPSC preparation, subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy. Thank you.